Okay, it's summer break refresh time. So the car is currently under its cover. First stage will be to jack it up, take the radiator out, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there. But hopefully the idea is to replace the radiator with an aluminium radiator, put in an oil cooler. I've got an exhaust leak, so we're going to try and sort that out and hopefully do the brake upgrade as well. So let's see how we go. Jesus. Here's where we're up to then. I've removed the front struts completely and they've been away to have the 4-pot caliper brake upgrade done. I've also removed the starter motor and the exhaust and inlet manifolds so that I can sort out the exhaust leak and replace the starter motor with a hi-toque one. And obviously the radiator's gone as well. And I will hopefully be fitting, not that there's much space there, but hopefully there'll be enough room for me to get the oil cooler in there. These are the uprated struts, or brakes to be more precise. So we've got the vented discs and motorsport studs on as well. They're thicker and longer. I'll be using hollow nuts as on this one. Brembo pads, and the whole thing seems to have gone together quite nicely. A bit hard to see, but yes, everything's bolted up really quite well. So yeah, very pleased with them so far. Hopefully everything goes in nice and smoothly. Next up is the oil cooler. I've tried a few places, but this is where I think it's going to fit. I haven't got the radiator back yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and mount it. The fan's going to be on this side of the radiator anyway, so hopefully everything will come out okay. So this is the install for the brakes. It's gone quite nicely. Everything's on, so yes, hopefully this will run quite nicely. Fingers crossed. This is the bracket that I've bent up. Goes in here like so. Another one will go over this side here. So all I need to do is cut it off so it's not too long and mount it and see how it all goes. The oil cooler is now solidly mounted in. I've put an extra brace up here, so it's now all nice and solid and tight. Next step is to change the oil, and then I'll just turn it over on the starter motor to see which way the oil's pumping through the hoses so I can connect them. But really in this orientation, it shouldn't really matter which way around the hoses go. Okay. That's the new filter holder and outlets for the pipes fitted, so now I just need to connect it to the cooler. And that's the hoses all fitted, so they're running across here. They're a bit tight around where the water bottle's going to go, and across to the radiator under there. So we'll give that a test before we put the radiator in, make sure it's all not leaking. I've replaced the starter motor with a Powerlight hi-toque starter motor. The green wire is the power from the switch. The red is from the battery coming from the boot. The yellow wire is the trigger wire, and the brown wire that's in there is a cold start wire with a diode in place there. So it's a wire directly to the coil, so that when you start the car, it's got full power to the coil for easier cold starting, and the diodes to stop the reversal of current back to the starter motor after you start the car. So hopefully that will mean that I can get the exhaust manifold in and out without having to remove the starter motor. This is the result of my last 2 days' work. Anyone that's done this job before will know that putting on the manifold studs, the 6 that go underneath the throttle body, are incredibly difficult because you can't actually see them. They are way under there. Probably won't even be able to pick them up on the camera, but they're underneath there. There's another 2 underneath there somewhere. Yeah, all incredibly difficult. So yeah, it's taken me 2 days to sort that out, but finally got there. So this is where we're up to now. All the intake system is all set up. The steering is all done. We've got the radiator in place, and we've got all the piping. I've put some rubber around where it may rub on the bodywork. So now I'm trying to solve the problem of fans, because there's not a lot of space there. I'm looking at probably a small fan down this side and a slightly larger fan down that side, but I've got these pulleys and belts in the way and all sorts of stuff. So yes, very enjoyable. This is the radiator fan that I'm trying to replace. It's a bit big and bulky. It was on the non-engine side of the radiator, so it was pushing air through. And it's only a 4-blade fan. As you can see, it's quite a massive, thick unit. So I'm trying to replace it with this sort of arrangement. So I've got a much thinner fan there, and I'll be bending these bars up to form a bracket to mount everything onto the radiator, or just behind the radiator, between the radiator and the engine. So fingers crossed, everything goes okay. Here we go, this is a day's work. I've got my aluminium radiator, and I've set up the fans after carefully measuring where everything goes. I'm lucky I've got one of the brushless fan motors here, so it's fairly low height, so it just fits in. I've got about 10mm clearance to the fan belt, but apart from that, I've just got to put the radiator in and attach all the wires up. This, by the way, is the starter that came off the car, so obviously it's got some sort of heat protective wrapped around it, but it's missing a lot of the bearing holder. I'm assuming someone's done that for clearance, but anyway, the new one's gone in and fits fine without any modifications. And there we have it. After many hours of wrangling, I've managed to get the radiator in. It wouldn't go in from the top, so I ended up jacking the car up high enough to be able to get it in from underneath, which worked. Now it's pretty tight, but I think I've got enough. Oh, that should be up there. I'm going to have to sort that out. Yes, it's a little bit on the tight side, but I think there's enough clearance there, and I've just got to cable tie those wires out the way, and I'll end up just doing the connections with these blocks temporarily just to connect it to the relay. And I will do the proper wiring, the soldering and everything at a later date, because I've only got another hour to go before I've got to pick up the trailer to go down to Phillip Island. Talk about leaving things till the last minute. So those cable joiners are not on sale anymore. They must be a bit dodgy. So I've just basically done spade and terminal connectors and connected everything together. I'll put some proper blocks in there once I know everything works properly. There we have it then. Basically the aluminium radiator and fans all went in. They're operating off the same switch that I originally had in there, which I will eventually get rid of, and I will wire in an automatic controller, which I already have. I just didn't have enough time. I replaced the starter motor with a hi-toque starter motor, and fixed the exhaust leak, put in the oil cooler, and replaced the front brakes with 4-pot calipers and the ventilated discs. So all in all, it took a lot longer than I expected or hoped. Everything came together at the last minute. I finished working on the car at 4:30 on Friday afternoon, and I was supposed to be down at Phillip Island at 5 o'clock. So I ended up getting down there at 8 o'clock instead, so I was a little bit late, but the race was the next day anyway, so I had enough time to go and get something to eat and sort myself out for the next day. So the next video will be that first run of the year at Phillip Island. So we'll see how we went then. Cheers.